What's up, y'all? Another episode, Ghost University. I've decided to do a little more talk about deception. And I believe I'm going to title this, Is it live or is it Memorex? Right? Shout out to the 80s. And the reason I'm calling it that is because, like I've been talking about on my channel here for a little while now, there is a lot of deception going on out here. And we always should keep our eyes open to the level of deception that's going on. Before Pearl Harbor happened, there was a lot of chatter in the intelligence world about America being attacked. Many people claim that, well, we never knew it was coming. But they actually did know. And there have been many articles out there written about it. You guys can go check that all out online. Before 9/11, they claimed the same thing. Well, we never knew. And we never imagined anybody would do that. Yet, there was a document floating around CIA, FBI circles that had the World Trade Center in crosshairs. And they were also, there's a photo, I believe, of Donald Rumsfeld and some other people with a mock piece of art of the Pentagon. And it has a plane crashed into the middle of it, or plane sections right in the middle of it. And there were also presidential daily briefings about bin Laden determined to attack America. Now, they came out and they lied first. And then they came out and told the truth. That they kind of didn't know. They didn't actually say we knew, but there was enough articles and news reports about, yeah, they knew. And people around the world were telling America that we were going to be attacked. So they'll definitely lie about that. But not only will they lie about whether they really knew or not, they'll also tell us, I don't mean they'll tell us, but they'll make up lies. And one of the best lies that they ever made up, now this lie never came into being real, a real lie that they told. How about that, a real lie? As in something that they put forward to lie to the world pretty much that America had been attacked by Cuba. And that is a document that I'm going to show you guys today called Operation Northwoods. It's been declassified. You can look for it online. And I'm going to show you guys that particular declassified article, piece of paper, document. And what it says is that they wanted to find a way to get us into the war, or into a war with Castro, because he was becoming a problem. And we have to remember that back for World War II, we also wanted a reason to get into that war as well. And so one of the things that these people started making up, the Joint Chiefs of Staffs started talking about, were ways in which they would get us into this war with Cuba. And you have to remember that they plan to publicize this on television. There are some amazing things in this document. I'm going to talk about a couple of them briefly, and then I'm actually going to show the document. One of them is that they were going to have mock victims. So they were going to make up the names of people and portray those people as dead. And they were also going to act like these people had been blown up on a passenger plane. All right? I want y'all to understand that. So when things come about conspiracy theories and they say, yeah, why would you guys ever think we'd do something like that? Because you guys sit around and think of those types of things. All right? The government sits around and they dream of doing these types of things. They dream about them. I'm sure they dream about them. And they actually sit down and write down these types of things. So I'm pull up Operation Northwoods, and I'll see you guys in just a minute. I won't actually see you. I'm gonna just be talking about it, but you understand the sentiment. The Operation Northwoods document is all over the place online. The one I'm showing, I got directly from the National Archive. You can find it on abcnews.com and many other places. You can find a bunch of people on YouTube talking about this as well. I believe this document is also in William Cooper's book, Behold a Pale Horse. It's unclassified now, and it's a memorandum for the Secretary of Defense. It's from the 13th of March, 1962. And number one, it says the Joint Chiefs of Staff have considered the attached memorandum for the Chief of Operations Cuba project, which responds to a request of that office for brief but precise description of pretexts which would provide justification for U.S. military intervention in Cuba. The Joint Chiefs of Staff recommend that the proposed memorandum be forwarded as a preliminary submission suitable for planning purposes. It is assumed that there will be similar submissions from other agencies and that these inputs will be used as a basis for developing a time-phased plan. Individual projects can then be considered on a case-by-case basis. Case-by-case basis meaning how much of this are they actually going to implement? Are they just going to do one part of it? I mean, how much will it take before they can convince the American people that this actually happened? Because it was going to be something that kind of happened a little bit, but then didn't happen at other times. And they'll adjust it as they see fit. Let's continue. 3 says that further, it is assumed that a single agency will be given the 3 says, further, it is assumed that a single agency will be given the primary responsibility for developing military and paramilitary aspects of this basic plan. It is recommended that this responsibility for both overt and covert military operations be assigned the Joint Chiefs of Staff. In my last video, or my video I made about Secrets of the Kabbalah and Jewish Mysticism Part 2, I showed the words esoteric and exoteric. And so right in their own document here, they're admitting that they're going to have both covert and overt options in dealing with this. The covert is what happens behind the scenes, the things that they never told you about, the secret things. The overt being the things that they showed you directly out in the open, okay? That they're always full of these things, and that's why dealing with government is so difficult, is that they have secret things that they do. And so who overall really knows what to believe when these people come out? Because they do plan to lie at times. They plan on it, they do lie, and most of the time, when countries do some things, they put those things in a special category. I forget the word for it, but they lock them away. They're top secret for 50 years. And then they'll come out and tell you after the 50 years is over with what those things entail. And even still, they won't tell you everything. When they release the documents, they are lots of times redacted, meaning they have all types of black lines drawn over things and documents, and you can't read them. Many, many black lines in the documents, and they release them like that, and that's fine. And they'll always say, well, that's top secret information. That's national security type stuff. We can't have everyone knowing those things, and that's why we blot them out. So even still, we're expected to believe them while they're not completely telling us the truth about what happened. I don't believe them. I don't. I won't, and I can't. I've moved ahead some in the document, all right? So in the discussion for part 5, it said the suggested course of action appended to enclosure A are based on the premise that the U.S. military intervention will result from a period of heightened U.S.-Cuban tension, which place the United States in the position of suffering justifiable grievances. World opinion and the United Nations Forum should be favorably affected by developing the international image of the Cuban government as rash and irresponsible, and as an alarming and unpredictable threat to the peace of the Western Hemisphere. So again, there is just the image that they want to portray. It's not that Cuba's actually like that. I mean, I'm sure Castro has been at times, but what government hasn't? You know, people pick and choose out here their fights. Down in number 8, under recommendation, it is recommended that Enclosure A, together with its attachments, should be forwarded to the Secretary of Defense for approval and transmittal to the Chief of Operations, Cuba Project. This paper not be forwarded to commanders of unified or specified commands. This paper not be forwarded to U.S. officers assigned to NATO activities. So here we are back to need to know basis. They don't want to tell everybody. The less people you tell, the less you have to worry about people interfering or the secret getting out. Down a little further in the plan, part 3 down here. This plan, incorporating projects selected from the attack suggestions or from other sources, should be developed to focus all efforts on a specific ultimate objective, which would provide adequate justification for U.S. military intervention. Such a plan would enable a logical buildup of incidents to be combined with other seemingly unrelated events to camouflage the ultimate objective and create the necessary impression of Cuban rashness and irresponsibility on a large scale, directed at other countries as well as the United States. So they need it like that so you can have everyone behind you. You know, they're already talking about the United Nations. They want the United Nations to see this and other people to perceive Cuba as a threat because they're just unpredictable and who knows who they're going to attack next. They consistently do that with people, with the governments and regimes in the Middle East all the time. We need to watch them. We need to watch them. Who knows what they're doing? Don't let them have that weapon. Don't let them have this. You know, don't let them have those chemical weapons, although a whole lot of countries around the world have chemical weapons. What determines when they're going to use them next? And now, because I didn't really want to have this run on too long, we are in the heart of the matter. All right? So, A, incidents to establish a credible attack, not in chronological order. 1, start rumors. There could be many rumors. They're going to use clandestine radio. 2, land-friendly Cubans in uniform over the fence to stage attack on base. So the U.S. would have a military base that these fake Cubans act like they're attacking. They'll have Cubans in fake uniforms. Fake Cubans, they might have real Cubans, but who knows with these people? They can have fake Cubans in fake uniforms or real uniforms and fake Cubans. 3, capture Cuban-friendly saboteurs inside the base. 4, start riots near the base main gate. Friendly Cubans. They're going to start riots intentionally, or at least make it look like there's a riot. Who knows, again, how far that goes. That's why they'll have to have it on a case-by-case basis. They're going to blow up ammunition inside the base and start fires. These will all be the actions of what the U.S. wanted to happen. There won't be real actions of real Cubans. All right? They're going to burn aircraft on their base, so they're going to sabotage them. They're going to lob mortar shells from outside of the base into the base, some damage to installation. So, you know, even if some of our stuff gets messed up, who cares? Because the main objective here is to cause war. 8, they're going to capture assault teams approaching from the sea or vicinity of Guantanamo City. They're going to capture a militia group which storms the base. They're going to sabotage ship in harbor with large fires. They're going to sink a ship near harbor entrance. Conduct funerals for mock victims. Maybe in lieu of 10. So it could be 10 victims on this ship that they're going to sink. But it doesn't have to be a real ship. They can just go by and litter pieces around and make it look like a real ship. if you haven't seen this type of stuff before, this is amazing to actually get your hands on and look at, because these things again are the reasons, along with the real things, the things that have actually happened, are the reasons why I don't trust these people. I just don't trust them to tell the truth, because they'll sit around and think up the craziest lies you've ever seen in your life. And all this would have been cool, right? All to have a war. So they'll trump up a lot of things so they can take out a regime that they think shouldn't be in power. Well, that's pretty atrocious type stuff. If you have to make up a lot of things on top of what they've already done, why not just ride with that? You know, the American people might ride with that, but then again, obviously, they won't. And that's why they had to drum up those types of charges to make America and the rest of the world look at Cuba as a dangerous threat and unpredictable. Here are some ways in which they said the United States could respond. We could respond by executing offensive operations to secure water and power supplies, destroying artillery and mortar emplacements which threaten the base, commence large-scale United States military operations. So once all of the things happen where they're trying to get us into war, real or fake, then the United States will actually start attacking Cuba. 3 down here says, remember the Maine incident could be arranged in several forms. They could blow up a U.S. ship in Guantanamo Bay and blame Cuba. We could blow up a drone, unmanned vessel anywhere in the Cuban waters. A drone meaning a fake aircraft. So there were people on 9/11 who thought that they saw a drone when one of those planes hit the towers. All right, people thought they saw drones, and I'm pretty sure some people thought that they saw a missile and another drone out at the Pentagon. So who knows? We could arrange to cause such incident in the vicinity of Havana or Santiago as a spectacle result of Cuban attack from the air or sea or both. So once it looked like Cuba attacked us from the land or the sea, like whichever they did, then the United States could start getting their act together and planning to attack Cuba. The presence of Cuban planes or ships merely investigating the intent of the vessel could be fairly compelling evidence that the ship was taken under attack. That reminds me of the Gulf of Tonkin incident, where they didn't really get attacked, but since the ships were close enough, they just kept saying, hey, we're being attacked, we're being attacked. And then later on, they said, no, wait, we're not being attacked. Well, which one was it? Did you get attacked or didn't you? Because now, all of a sudden, we're into another war, right? The nearness to Havana or Santiago would add credibility, especially to those people that might have heard the blast or have seen the fire. So if you just heard it or seen it, you could think that something happened because you can see the debris. You can see the debris, and you'd be in such shock when you first go look at it, you wouldn't know what happened. Again, more odes to 9/11 right there. The U.S. could follow up with an air-sea rescue operation. Now a rescue operation that's not really happening because there were no real people there, or there would have been no real people there, covered by U.S. fighters to evacuate remaining members of the non-existent crew. Casualty lists in U.S. newspapers will cause a helpful wave of national indignation. Now, I'm going to stop right there because I do feel like that's enough. These people aren't trustworthy. I don't know how anybody trusts them, including when it comes to whatever sickness is floating around or when a sickness came. And in 1996, there were a group of people who went into New York, some scientists of some sort, some biologists of some sort, and they went into the New York subway system with some light bulbs. You guys can go look this up. They had germs and light bulbs that they dropped in the subway because they wanted to see how fast some sort of sickness or biological agent or whatever you want to call it would move through the subway system. And they said that those germs wouldn't hurt people. Well, it turns out that the germs did actually hurt people, and people actually got sick. So once again, you can't trust these people, to tell you the truth. If anything, look at the information for yourself. Make the best decision you can. But I know when it comes to me, I don't trust these people. I'll be back with some more things about 9/11 to talk about. Is it live or is it Memorex? I want to make one last statement here before I wrap this up. I don't vote. And this type of thing is why I don't vote, because in scriptures it says, do not follow a multitude into evil, because God will not justify the wicked. I look at presidents as they say they're supposed to be, right? They do things in our name. And so when everybody is behind them and they all say, well, we were doing it for what's best and we don't really want to go to war, but we're going to go and it'll be for the best in the end. Well, a lot of innocent people get murdered. And I don't want them doing that in my name. I'm not going to follow a multitude into evil, because I definitely understand that God will not justify the wicked. Okay? I'm not telling y'all to do what I do. I'm just telling y'all why I don't do it. Because I don't want my name attached to those things. I can talk for myself. Y'all see me out here. I'm talking right now. I don't need them people to talk for me or bomb anybody for me or make somebody else's country better for me or represent me by going over there and helping those people achieve freedom, allegedly. Forget all that. I don't have time. If I want that, I'll go over there myself. It's not really in the cards, but if that's what I wanted, that's what I would do. But yeah, just one little statement to close this up. I don't fool with these people at all. In closing, this is some of Exodus 23 about how we should stay to the truth. Stay to the truth of the matter. Because down here in Exodus 23:7, God will not justify the wicked. So I myself don't follow a multitude into evil, because God will not justify the wicked. Hey, y'all have a good day.